Peace and love. Let's do an oracle reading for the month of April or just for spring. Let's just do a spring reset and see where we are spiritually and how we can continue to move forward. I'll be using the crystal oracle deck that I love to use on this channel, and then I'll do some crystal casting and I'll pull a couple of other oracle cards as well. So let's see where we are. Actually, let's get some incense going before we get started to cleanse our space and our energy. I hope you're doing well. I hope your healing is going well. I have my tea with me, so I might have to take a sip from time to time. All right, so let's see where we are, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you for another day. Thank you for another spring. All right, so we're moving into a period of renewal. All right, we've already planted seeds, and so we want to see what's going to burst forth, or we're in the process of planting those seeds. Let's see. All right, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for being here with me, continuing to be here with me. I hope your healing is coming along beautifully. All right, so let's see where we are. Give me a little, let me cleanse my hands as well. Touch of love, patchouli, Florida water. Cleanse my hands and cleanse my crown. All right, Spirit, let's see where we are. Thank you, angels, for your protection. Thank you, ancestors, for your strength, your courage, your groundedness. Mother Earth, for your bounty, abundance. Most High, for the gift of life, the gift of continuation. Higher Self, for your knowledge, for your truth, your understanding. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have for us as we head into the spring months, as we plant seeds for our growth, for our healing, for our renewal, for love, for abundance, all those things that are offered to us just because we are alive and we're living in your way. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have for us collectively as we're preparing for spring? New journeys, new chapters, starting fresh. Thank you, angels. What messages do you have? Thank you, Spirit. Give an honor and praise to the Most High energy. Give thanks. Confidence, renewal, imagination, self-sufficiency, clearing, security, bravery, concentration, and transformation. Beautiful energy here. Compatibility. So what does this mean with the Shiva Lingam? The idea of compatibility in our work environments, in our home spaces, our creative projects, but also being compatible with the self, honoring the self. Okay. Utilizing the masculine as well as the feminine energy within the body, the spiritual body. So being active when it comes to movement and ideas, putting them out there in the world, but also intuitive when it comes to understanding your purpose and how spirit wants to move you forward. So that's the energy of compatibility. Underneath that, we have stability. And that's what this reading is about. We saw self-sufficiency out here. So the idea of being stable, stable in whatever you create, stable in your vision to move forward. It could be a business venture. It could be a relationship you're moving into. It could be a relationship with the self, and that should be always the constant relationship that's on your mind. I know it is for me. And then also just stable in your foundation, knowing who you are spiritually. All right, so right here in the middle, we have the optical calcite, and I have a piece here. This is what it looks like in real form. All right, so we have the optical calcite. So spirit is telling us to clear. What does that mean? It means that we're clearing things from the past. It's pretty self-explanatory. But also clearing can deal with the heart space, clearing out doubts from the past, clearing out negative thoughts that you've held on to in your mind, clearing out those spiritual debris that have been sitting there lingering and festering, right? In those deep dark corners. So going into a spiritual cleanse, going into a spiritual renewal as we head into the spring months. Just something as simple as kind of touching base with your guides to find out where they want you to be. All right. You always want to start off on a firm foundation. We saw stability there. And so one of the steps that we can start with is spirit, higher self. That's you, right? Higher self. Where do you want us to be? And what do you want us to do? And how can we move forward? Understanding that we come here with purpose, with understanding, deep understanding that's hidden, that's pulled out through spiritual challenges and through self-reflection and inner work. But we come here with the master plan. And so we want to always honor that master plan. But sometimes we might not understand the steps of that plan. It hasn't been given to us 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's not written out like that. And so we have to understand that those plans are revealed to us through the spiritual workings of life. And so we start by asking our guides about that plan, the higher self as well. All right, so we're going through a period of clearing first. Clearing the idea, clearing the chessboard, clearing starting fresh. Starting fresh with where we see ourselves, right? Because we're in a period of renewal. We're heading into the spring. Spirit is saying that, sitting with yourself, we have concentration here. And so those are the ideas of self-reflection, doing the inner work. That's the hardest part. And that's the part that takes the most time. But that's also the part that people like to bypass, or they like to look beyond that. And you really can't look beyond that period of concentration that comes in through that grounded energy of being still with the body, being still with the self. Hematite deals with groundedness. These are all ways to bring about renewal of the mind, the body, the heart, the spirit, all those things, right, as we head into spring. On the top, we have confidence, renewal, and imagination. So anytime I see, the idea of confidence, being strong in who you are, walking with power, walking with truth, but knowing that things take time, right? Continuing to use your imagination to envision what you see for yourself, how you see your morning, how you see your afternoon, your night. What does it look like to you? What does it feel like? Starting there, starting at square one with just a feeling. If you don't have the vision in mind, you know how you want to feel. You want to feel renewed, because we have that here. You want to feel sure. You want to feel powerful. You want to feel like yourself. Confidence leads to self-sufficiency, but there's a level of bravery that has to be here. So we have confidence and we have bravery. So the whole idea is that we're stepping out, sure-footed, but with Mother Earth underneath us, right? Knowing that we are already abundant. As we come here, we're already abundant from day one, all right? In the womb, we're already abundant. And so we want to honor that. Spirit is saying that all of this renewal energy here is here for you. The desire to clear, all those things are here for you, but you have to be brave, which means you have to move out of circumstances that are harmful to your spirit. You have to move out of circumstances that are detrimental to your health. All those things, right? With compassion for the self. We realize that things like this don't happen overnight, because it took a long period of time for you to get into those energies that keep you stuck, right? And this is for all of us. This reading is for me as well. And so those stuck energies, they linger there. And sometimes it comes to the point where they're hidden. We talked about the deep crevices, the dust that's lingering in the dark, to areas of the mind, of the spiritual body that you don't even go to, right? You don't even venture into those areas anymore, because the period of self-reflection it's not where it needs to be. That's what Spirit is telling us right now. And so you have to visit those places, right? Because guess what's in those places? You are. No matter what's there, no matter what the energy is, the light and the dark of it all. We all exist within the two. And so Spirit is saying you are in those places as well. So you need to visit them to figure out what needs to be healed, what needs to be cleansed, what needs to be brought to the forefront for healing and for understanding, for enlightenment, right? Bring it into the light. Bravery, concentration, transformation. Spirit is saying you don't have to concentrate so much on being brave. It's nothing where you have to force it. The bravery comes from being who you are. It comes from waking up in the morning and saying, I'm going to live my life as close to my spiritual purpose as possible. I'm going to live my life as close to the Most High, or whatever you believe in spiritually. I believe in the Most High energy, or the energy that you would know as God, okay? And so I live my life in accordance to that will, in accordance to the will of the Most High, Mother, Father, God, Creator, creation, all of that. And that's how I move forward. In the end, I will return to that source energy. That's how I feel and what I feel for myself. And so every day, how can I get closer to the Most High energy? How can I get closer to God? Okay, in the ways that you might understand it. If you do not believe in a central energy like that, maybe you believe in Mother Earth. Maybe you believe in your ancestors. Maybe you believe in whatever it might be. Prayerfully, it's for good, right? But whatever it is, put it in your words for your spiritual belief and your spiritual movement, right? But my whole goal is to be closer to the Most High. All right, so there's no far distance to travel for me to get there when it's time for me to ascend and move away from this planet. Right? That I'm always there and I've been there all along. That's the whole goal for me. That I've been walking in step with the energy of the Most High this whole time. And so it's no stranger. I'm no stranger. I'm not a stranger to the energy, and I'm not a stranger to myself. But we don't want to concentrate so much on being brave. How can I be brave today? How can I have courage to do this? Spirit is saying we start by just the basics, putting our feet on the ground as who you are in every little way that you can do, step by step. Maybe not revealing yourself all the way, because sometimes it takes time, right? You're growing and you're learning and you're coming up. You're finding out things about yourself as you're going into these deep crevices and doing this inner spiritual work. And so when you find out something about yourself, you share it. And then you find out something else about yourself and you share it. And then, it goes on and goes on. And so that's the bravery. The bravery comes in the revelation for you, but the revealing of yourself to others, not because we want them to be like, oh my goodness, what is she saying? What is she doing? It's not about that. It's about honoring yourself in the world, honoring yourself in your physical and spiritual body, and how you carry and how you walk and move forward. That's the transformation here with the Malachite. All right. Malachite deals with heart energy, a powerful transformative stone, working with spiritual energies, but also the transformation that comes from the heart, right? I don't think we put enough energy and emphasis into the power that comes from loving properly, starting with loving ourselves properly, all right? Honoring ourselves properly. Before we expect anything from anybody else, we have to love ourselves properly. All right, it's the inner work. That transformative energy of the heart space will provide or bring about the clearing that we're looking for. It'll bring up the confidence that we need. Serpentine is also heart energy here. We have root chakra energy here with garnet. This deals with passions. And so when we are aligned with our passions, we're aligned with ourselves, we're doing the inner work, we're going into those dark spaces, we're looking at those things that we've swept behind, we're bringing them up for energetic clearing, for enlightenment, in hopes of being renewed, right? Imagination, security, transformation. Spirit is saying trust your vision for yourself. Trust what you see. Trust what you see. For some you see it and it appears like, just like that. And we give thanks to those moments that it happens. But for some things you see and it doesn't appear for a very long time. Why is that? Many reasons. Because it's been ordained. That's what I believe. But also because, Your spirit knows what it's doing. We have levels, we have things that we're working through as we're here on this physical plane, spiritually. So we're doing two things at once. We're working in tandem with the spirit and with the self here, in the physical manifestation of life, And so we have all these things that we're doing together. And so it's a lot happening. It's a lot happening, especially a lot happening for those of us who are in realization that we have more than one purpose, more than one energy. Multiple things are going on. Some people don't look at their lives in a spiritual way. They only see themselves in the physical form. And it's dangerous to do that. We're not gonna go too much into that, but you only want to satisfy your physical needs. You only want to satisfy what's right here, right in front of you for the moment. You only want, and it just becomes wanting, feeding the body, feeding the physical body. It's taxing. It requires lots of energy and lots of money, lots of thought, lots of whatever. The spiritual body is different. It requires work as well. You know, it's abundant, but it requires, time, and it can be painful, and it can be powerful, but a lot of people don't understand that, the abundance comes from cultivating both, not just one thing. So trusting the vision that you have for yourself, putting it in the mind, that picture, holding it, going to sleep with that picture, waking up with that picture, saying thank you most high for that picture already. And if you can't envision the picture, you don't have the picture, thanking God for that feeling or the most high energy for that feeling, going to sleep with that feeling, waking up with that feeling, right? So we have to start from the basics. I'm going to sip of my tea. Self-sufficiency. This is the card here, and this is on pre-night. This is one of my favorite stones. Let's see, I have a piece right here. This is pre-night right here. And I use this stone for ancestral workings. But it's also, anytime we're dealing with green, it's our heart chakra energy. It has epidote in there, which deals with increase. But the whole idea with this is what it's about. This is the whole reason we're here. Self-sufficiency. Being able to operate without the approval of others. Being able to operate without the judgment of others. Being self-sufficient in who we are, how we create our livelihoods as well. That's important for me. That's what I'm trying to work towards. It's not an easy journey, but it's here, Self-sufficient because I go to work, I pay my bills, I take care of myself, I honor myself in that way. But spiritually self-sufficient as well, where I know that I'm walking in step with the Most High energy. And I'm sure in that. I'm sure in that. Knowing that I'm walking in step with the higher self, which is me, the higher knowledge, the crown chakra energy, the third eye energy. Labbed right here. That's tapping into our higher level spiritual energies. It's working with our guides. It's working with the higher self, right? Ocean jasper, touching the earth, right? For some of us, getting to the water. If you can't get to the ocean, getting to the river, getting to a pond, getting into the shower, whatever it is that can bring about that energy of renewal when it comes to water. When you get into the shower, you say, thank you, Most High. Thank you, spiritual energies. Continue to cleanse me. Continue to renew me. When you go to the ocean, you go to the river. Giving a small offering could just be a prayer. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors. You understand what I'm saying. When you get into these moments, you'll feel it, right? If you're light of body and you're allowing yourself to be yourself, those messages and that energy will come to you. Serpentine, dealing with the heart, clearing the heart. Pre-night, being in touch with our ancestors. Garnet, loving ourselves, being passionate with who we are. and allowing those passions to extend themselves beyond the self and sharing that with others. Hematite, grounding the body. Optical calcite, clearing, but being able to see clearly as well. That's one of the, and this piece, you can see it. It's one of the benefits of the optical calcite is the idea that you can see straight through it, right? So being able to see through the bullshit or those dark areas, bringing them to light so that we can see through them. All right. Right here in the bottom, let's start here. Hematite. The malachite here. We'll do the hematite next. Malachite, powerful stone of transformation. On here we have the yellow apatite, which is one of my favorite stones. I'll bring it up so you can see it. This stone to me is, anytime I see yellow, of course we can talk about solar plexus. That's allowing your intuition to come through. You can feel it physically, touching your belly, that area where you can feel things. You know when something is right for you and something is wrong for you. So allowing your body to be your guide when it comes to your transformation. If you feel good in that area, and if you feel good in that area, then you're feeling good. For some of us, we need to transform the way we eat. Because I'm getting this with the greenery, bringing more greenery into our life when it comes to our foods, right? And so we want to make sure that we're doing that for our gut health, for our stomach, for digestion, all right, for optimal cell health. All right, sometimes I think about that when I'm eating junk food or crazy foods, because I like to snack too. But it's like, are the cells being cared for? Am I caring for my cells? Are they is my body receiving nutrients that it needs to carry this from this place to the next place? What am I doing? So we want to work along with our bodies and honor it. Yes, we can have fun, but we want to make sure that we're giving the body what it needs. All right, we want to make sure that we're honoring that, all those parts of ourselves. But this is abundance for me. All right, so transformation comes from feeling your body, knowing in your body how you feel in certain situations. If you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and you don't feel good, you feel sick to your stomach, something's not right. All right, same thing for a working condition. If you get up in the morning and your stomach is hurting, it's not right. If you're eating something and your stomach is hurting, that's not right. All right, so if we know that something's not right, if we put something in our system, then our surroundings also, we should be able to feel those as well spiritually. And that's how you feel it, through the solar plexus. And so if something doesn't feel right, it is not right. It is not right. You have to trust yourself. You have to. That's the confidence here and the bravery. The confidence comes from trusting yourself. The bravery happens when you move out of those situations. That's the clearing and the renewal. It doesn't happen without it. If you're getting those warning signs, something's not right. You're talking to a person. Something's not sitting right in your spirit. That's something you can think, it's not sitting right. That it's not right. There's a lot of things that could be wrong in those situations. Maybe something you have to reevaluate, but it all requires you to go into that mode of self, reflection. If you're in negative situations, you're not self-reflecting, you're not going to ever figure out what's going on. But Spirit is saying the abundance, in whatever way it is for you, spiritual abundance, financial abundance, it will come with this transformation. This transformation, this energy of reviewing and renewing, all will bring about this abundance that you're looking for here. Hematite, we have a unakite on it. I love the stone. Heart chakra energy too with the unakite, but also Mother Earth. With the epidote, it talks about the stone of increase, one of my favorite stones. But you can see it. All right, so concentration on hematite, which is grounding. This is giving me the idea of going outside and being in touch with Mother Earth, being in touch with the real life miracles, things that, when we talk about that imagination, things that we want to envision for ourselves. Sometimes we have to go out and see the miracle that's been created by the creator, the creatress, whatever it is for you, both. You can't have either without the creator and the creatress. They both work together. And so Spirit is saying that Go out and see the masterpiece that is life. Go out and see the masterpiece that is nature, that'll help to craft your vision forward when it comes to your imagination. This was one of my mother's beads. I have a lot of her stuff, but this is on the clearing, and this is ancestral clearing. As you're going through this for yourself, going through these moments, you're clearing your bloodline as well. You're clearing that energetic connection between you and those who came before you. You honor them. You honor them with doing work on yourself. You honor them with self-reflecting. All right? We want to think about, especially when it comes to blacks and African Americans, you want to think about, or wherever you might be, every group has had some sort of oppression. But definitely because I'm a black woman, I deal with my ancestral energies. That connection is extremely powerful and very potent and important to me. And so when I'm walking through life, I honor them with everyday things that I'm doing. Even when I'm teaching, I'm a teacher. And so when I'm teaching, I'm thinking to myself sometimes it's very hard work. And I wonder if I'm in the right place doing the right thing, but I wouldn't be there if I wasn't in the right place doing the right thing, right? But I think to myself, I give thanks for this, that I can be in these spaces, teaching these children of all different races, going forward. My mother wasn't a teacher. She did teach. She was a spiritual teacher, actually. So she taught Reiki. She taught other healing modalities. She was a massage therapist. My grandmother was heavily involved in the church. She was a deaconess, and so she took that job extremely serious. She loved to work with the youth. And so they are teachers. We all are teachers in a way, no matter what we do, you know? And so I think about me doing this, and I think about me teaching those students. I'm honoring them by keeping the legacy of being a teacher alive. Okay, maybe they weren't in front of the classroom like I am, and I think they would be proud of me for doing that because it requires bravery to do that type of work. I'm on display every day for hours on end, and so trying to share knowledge with these students, not only the knowledge that's, comes through what I'm teaching, which is civics, which is government, which is extremely important right now. We're in our economics unit, but talking about the Constitution, the power that comes from that, especially when I'm pulling from my ancestors and realizing how we had to work to even be added to the Bill of Rights, right? So that's a whole other story. But honoring your ancestors and what you do is highly important. That brings about a clearing. We want to think about the ancestors that weren't able to do any of those things. They were just getting by day. I honor them too because I'm here because of them. The strength that required them, that led them to continue to keep on in that manner. When people talk about stuff like that, it's like some people see it in a weakness, extreme power, the power to stay alive, the power to see yourself within systems that hold you, oppress you, and re-envision who they see you as, to still hold on to your mind and your heart, to be alive in those oppressive circumstances. It's a power beyond belief. It's a whole nother topic, right? But that's the clearing that's happening as you're going through the transformation here. Security. We have the rose quartz on the smoky quartz. The idea of smoky quartz always deals with amplification of energies. It deals with clearing. It deals with transformation. It deals with programming when we talk about quartz. But we have a piece of rose quartz on it. Loving yourself right now at this moment, where you're starting today. Whenever you view this is timeless reading. Loving on those parts of yourself. Honoring the feminine energy. All right? Who you are, where you've been, what you've done, what you've seen. Honoring it all. Honoring the mother. Honoring the ancestral energies. Being willing to see it. Being willing to see what makes you secure. Being secure in your body right now. Maybe the finances aren't what you want. Maybe the job is not what you want. But being secure with who you are. Seeing yourself at this moment. Loving yourself, being gentle with yourself at this moment is highly important right now. Gonna pull one of my favorites, crystal reading cards. Spirit, what message do you have for us? Working on our confidence, being brave just by showing up as ourselves, not as anybody else. We're not looking at other people. We're only going within. We're not going to do it the way they do it. We're going to do it our own way. Why? Because that's the best way. For who? For us. It's no other way. It's no other way. All right, so let's see. Oh, I had it upside down. All right, so we have black tourmaline, stone of protection. Do I have a piece nearby? Yes, I do. Let me grab it so you can see it. One of my favorite stones. And I have videos on here talking about crystals. I'll do more. There's a lot I want to do on here. I just have to do it. All right, so this is one of my absolute favorite stones. I just wouldn't be able to. I love it. That's all I have to say. It's one of my favorites. So Spirit is saying that you're protected. All right, as you're going through your transformation, as you're going through your healing, your period of renewal, that you're protected. Why? Because you've asked for protection. Angels, can you watch over me and protect me as I'm going through my healing, as I'm moving forward in my purpose? I ask for protection. Clearing the body. Hey, Scotty. All right, on the bottom, we have the shadow. And so we talked about that earlier with black obsidian. So we have 3 stones out here with some of the darker energy, smoky quartz as well, which means we need to be in touch with some of the shadow energy. We need to ground the body. We need to make sure that we're protecting our environments. All right, so our living spaces, we're protecting our body. We're around people that we feel safe around. We want to make sure we're doing that. All right, and so the shadow, going into those crevices that we talked about earlier, bringing up some of those things for clearing or for evaluation. All right, you can't. What's going on, sweetie? I'm doing a reading. Good to see you. I'm doing a reading. All right, so we're going through periods of. We're always going through periods of self-reflection. We should be going through periods of self-reflection. Sorry if I missed my last point. But we need to go into some of these areas to look into the shadow. What is the shadow? I have a video on here. I'll link it below. It's going into those things that we say about ourselves, things from the past life, past could have been last month, could have been a year ago, but things we hold on to that are part of our spiritual journey. They're part of us. The shadow is not something that can be burned away. It's not about that. It's a part of yourself that reveals itself when you're vulnerable. And it can be detrimental if you don't understand what those parts are. It can stop you from moving spiritually. Some people, they operate on the shadow, which means they operate in that dark side. All right? Light and dark, they both exist together. We have to understand that. And even with me doing these readings, I have to visit my shadow self, which is that area that will keep me from being confident and being brave. What keeps you from being confident, what keeps you from being brave is your shadow. The shadow element. It could be something from your childhood, something from a past life. You have to do self-reflection to understand it. I'll link the video below because I talk about my shadow. Some of the things that reoccur when it comes to my life. Spiritual things that I have to always look at, analyze, and bring up for review. And one is my relationship or the non-relationship with my father. I'll bring that down. I'll put that below. Because that comes up again all the time for me. It's nothing that, when we're dealing with spiritual work and healing and cleansing, you know, it's fake and false. And if you deal with spiritual practitioners or readers and they tell you, oh, do this, do that, and it's gone, it's not that. Life is constantly moving and learning. We don't bring these things up to make them disappear. We bring these things up to acknowledge all parts of ourselves for healing and for truthfulness and honesty. All right, let's get one here from the Sacred Medicine Oracle by Asha Frost. Artwork by Steph Littlebird. And I'm going to read, if you don't mind. Give us a message, Spirit. We have a shadow out here. Spirit is saying that we're protected as we're going through renewal. We're wanting to bring about a transformation in our lives. How do we do that? Thank you, angels. How do we bring about the transformation? If you've come across this video, please, hit a like. But also, thank you for being here more than anything. All the videos I do on here are timeless, which means you can look at a video from years ago and it might be a message for you. It's all working with ascension. How do we get to the next step spiritually? That's all I focus on here. How do we love ourselves as much as we need to, which is the highest. All right, let's see. Please join me. And if you do join me, share it or like so that I can grow. Let me get one more. Let me. So protection again. Wow. Wow. I'm going to read it. And then let's see what we had on the bottom. Just a look. Wholeness. That's what we're doing. We're moving into wholeness right now. We're listening to ourselves. All right. Remembering who we are. Remembering our ancestors, what they went through. Seeing ourselves within that connection, the extension of that energy, the line moving forward, the arrow moving forward. All right, so let's read the Wolf 28th protection. See what message Spirit has for us with this. I'll bring it up. All right, the great guardian spirit steps forward, bares its teeth and growls. The sound reverberates through your energy field and beyond. It is a time of discernment, a time to assess the energy you are currently willing to let in. Are there relationships in your life right now that are not healthy for you? Are you struggling with boundaries, people-pleasing, or low vibrational thoughts and actions that you want to shift and change? Sometimes we need a thought assessment of who and what we are, letting into our sacred space. And Wolf is here as an ally and helper. Wolf is fierce, holding a determined and structured sacred space for you to step into as you shake off all you have absorbed and allowed into your field. There is amplified protection in this space. And the star nations move down to greet you. This illuminates Wolf's energy and assists you in bringing forward the highest form of protection for you and your loved ones. There is nothing to fear, for Wolf comes to clean up anything that has been tangled up. Your energy space is clear, refined, and impeccable with this animal's assistance. You are now safeguarded from attack or projection. Feel into the frequency this animal has gifted to you, but there are now more precise bounds to where your energy comes and goes. The sacred ceremony. Wolf walks around your body in a clockwise motion and howls, activating a circle of fire around you to instantly burn off energy when needed. Wolf tells you when you hear or sense a growl that this is a sign that they are with you as an ally, bringing you amplified protection. Take a moment to welcome them into your energy field. Hand them a gift and to thank them, as reciprocity is very important to maintain a sacred connection. Healing affirmation. With Wolf at my side, protection is all around me and I am safe. Beautiful energy. I hope you enjoyed this message. If you have enjoyed this message, continue to look at some of my other videos. And I love you, and we'll see each other soon. Peace. Take care.